Welcome to Focus on the Candidates. I'm Cynthia Pooler. My guest today is Christopher Campbell, and Chris is running for the United States Senate in Kentucky on the Kentucky Party uh, platform, a brand new party, and he's running against Mitch McConnell. So that's pretty interesting. What made you decide to run for office?
Just a quick note there. McConnell's vacating the seat. He's going to be retiring, so he's not going to run again. So the
Okay.
primary candidates, it looks like for Republican side, will be Congressman Andy Barr and Daniel Cameron, and then from the Democrat side, be Colonel Amy McGrath, and it's like a state senator Pamela Stevenson's probably going to be running in that as well.
Okay. Okay. So you have pretty entrenched opposition, right?
Oh yeah, I think there's like 6 to 8 total Democrats are going to be going into the primary.
Mhm.
And there's probably another Republican or so because I think Nate Morris is probably going to run. I've been seeing some commercials from him. So yeah, at least 10 or so other opponents, but they all have to fight each other to get their primaries as well. So that kind of helps me. So they're not paying any attention to me because I'm the little guy they're not looking at.
Okay. So when were you with the New Kentucky Party from its inception?
Yes, I was at the initial convention. I've worked a little bit with one of the main party members, Jeff Sebesta, on a signature gathering for some other campaigns. That's how I met him. And then
Mhm.
I had met the Jeff Young, the guy who's ran several elections and is the treasurer of the Kentucky Party right now. I met him by interviewing him during his 2022 campaign um, when he ran in the Democratic primary.
Boy, he's pretty tenacious. He just keeps on going.
Yeah, it's a big thing I've learned from him. It's like it doesn't matter win or lose, you just got to keep pushing your message out, and
Right,
a
right.
lot of people will listen to it and resonate, and it will resonate with them. But
Hmm.
yeah, he's an interesting guy too. Learn a lot from him.
That's great because he's had run-ins with the major parties, and from what he tells me, it hasn't been too much fun.
Now, just in my short stint of learning about running in politics, there's not a whole lot of camaraderie even within the parties.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of makes sense. You're gonna get a lot of type A personalities, a lot of narcissists, a lot of people wanting the power. So that's why I'm really interested to see how this Senate campaign goes. I thought Jeff Young would run for the U.S. Senate one because he has the most experience, and he decided he
Hmm.
was going to run for a state office, and
Hmm.
we didn't have a candidate at the time. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. It, I got nothing to lose. It doesn't matter if I get pummeled in the polls or something. It's not going to break my spirit.
Wow. You said that there's a lot of egotists running for office. Do you think the majority of people that are involved in the two major parties are more in it for themselves than for the people of their district?
I would say so. It's gonna be different levels, whether it's a federal, state, or like a local municipality. Because like at the local level, a lot of those people live in those communities, so they're probably more engaged with the everyday person. But once you start getting to like the state or even the federal level, I mean, you can see with the government shutdown now, like their job is to work together to find a compromise, and the parties just refuse to do that. Um,
Yeah.
they don't put they don't put their constituents first. They put their own ideologies first.
I think the whole thing with the shutdown is pretty interesting because a lot of it hinges on the special election in Arizona.
Yes.
And and I know the Republican that ran for that seat. And it's very interesting because he got no help from the party whatsoever. And now Johnson refuses to s- to
Swear in.
yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. He won't swear in the victor because he's saying during the shutdown he can't do that, which isn't true. But,
Right.
you know, um, everyone's playing their little games, I guess.
Right. Yep. So, what do you have in back of you? A cat?
Probably a cat. I'm in a car outside of my house because it's the most quiet spot I have access to at the moment. But yeah, there's a cats. We got a couple of dogs running around. I live out in the most rural parts of like Madison County. I don't know if you're
Uh-huh.
familiar with that area.
No.
About 7 miles outside of the city of Richmond.
Okay. Okay. Richmond, that's in Virginia.
Now this is Richmond, Kentucky,
Really?
home of Eastern Kentucky University.
Okay. So, what have you learned so far um, as a candidate? As far
Um,
as whatever whatever you feel that you've learned, I'd like you to share with us.
Very little because it's only been about a month since I've been the candidate for the position. But when it comes to politics, money moves mountains. That's what I've seen, that how fast the two major parties are raising money for candidates and how quickly they have commercials and billboards and radio ads and stuff
Right.
like that,
Right.
compared to where I have nothing. So that's a big thing, how much money will influence the election. But I also have been fortunate to be able to work with some other third party types. Like recently got to work with some libertarians and talk with some of them. Um, I got talk with a couple of Green Party members. It seems like the third parties are much more open to working together, because it looks like as of right now there's going to be a Republican candidate, there'll be a Democratic candidate, and at this point it doesn't seem like there's going to be a third party candidate for the Senate seat other than me. So I'm hoping that some of those third party groups will band together. I've actually had a few conversations with people who are labor movement party members. They don't really have much of a party left because there's not a whole lot of them, but met a few through Eastern's campus and on UK's campus. A lot of students between the age of about 25 that are labor movement. So it's just interesting trying to build a coalition of like third partiers and maybe see if I can court a few of the moderate Democrats or moderate Republicans to a more, moderate mindset, unifying as opposed to polarizing between the Democrats and Republicans, where it's like
Have,
you have to
have you
do what we say, what the party
uh,
says.
right?
Um,
Was that me?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Huh?
I get an echo.
Got an echo? Let me see.
Yeah.
You still getting it?
Let's see. Now, yes.
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly now.
Okay. So, um, how is it trying to form a coalition with third party members?
It can be a little difficult, but it hasn't been too bad so far. The ones I've got to meet with, they're very open to it because they're kind of tired themselves of the two-party system. So hoping to play on that and their desires to have a different candidate that kind of meshes some liberal views, some conservative views, and okay.
Okay. I'm having a little trouble hearing you now.
Are you?
Yeah. What?
Let me see.
Oh, it looks like it's a nice day out there.
It is, yeah. I'm outside now. You getting a better signal now?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, that'll work for me.
So is this the first time running for office?
Yes. Yeah, I've never ran for any seat before.
To go from nothing to United States Senate is quite elite.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, I kind of just threw my name out there into the pot because no one else had said they were going to run. I'm like, well, if y'all need a candidate, I'll run. And that's just kind of
Have
how it
you,
happened.
have you raised any money?
No, nothing so far.
Wow. What about the media?
Well, but no, you're my first interview.
Okay.
Yep.
Have
So
you have you have you used social media at all?
uh, I've been waiting a little bit on that because our press release doesn't come out till November 5th. Is when we're
Okay.
like kind of scheduling the press release overall, the official declaration of candidacy, I suppose.
Okay. What unique qualities would you bring to the table if you're elected?
I've spent my whole life living in Kentucky, so I know the area pretty well. I've always lived in rural parts of Kentucky. I come from a blue collar family. I myself am currently in a union. Um, Previous military experience. I went to a Kentucky college, Kentucky public school, K through 12. So I got a lot of experience working in the education system. I worked at the Madison County Health Department because one of my degrees is in public health. So I've got to work with a lot of varied groups, a lot of different diverse groups, and focusing on health issues, uh, anything from disease tracking and prevention to like needle exchange programs.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a few years working at a rape crisis center, so I got to learn a lot from that, working with both survivors of like sexual assault and law enforcement. And I think I've had a very varied experience in this state that a lot of people haven't had. Um, Come from a very poor family, so and now I'm technically myself I'm middle class, so I guess that's because I'm a homeowner, so I guess that's good. Come from a very poor to get into the middle class, so I think I've worked pretty hard on a lot of different things to get to where I am at this point. And the whole time I was coming up and through my adult life, I've kind of had my periphery on the politics, and I never really gave much thought to running until more recently. And just watching it, I just decided, well, if the opportunity comes up, I'll run for something and see how it goes.
Okay. So you're just getting your feet wet.
I suppose get my feet wet and running for U.S. Senate as a as a
Okay.
first option.
Do you consider politics theater?
Do I consider politics what? Sorry,
Theater.
theater. Oh yeah, It's very much like a professional wrestling. Um, I mean, it kind of makes sense because a lot of people going to politics come from like a legal background, and really good lawyers have to be good at telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of part of it. So yeah, a lot of it's performative. Some of it's a bit too performative, where it's when they're campaigning, they're using a lot of hyperbole and acting like they're going to get everything done, and then once they get elected, they do very very little, and that's a problem. So they focus more on the theater than the practical aspects of it. So I'm going to try to avoid doing too much theater and promising things to constituents that I can't deliver because there's only so much one senator can do. A senator can do a lot, but there's still limits.
Have you been to Washington at all?
Yes, it's very busy there.
What was your impression?
It's very busy. I like the monuments. The people leave a lot to be desired sometimes because, like every 10 feet you walk, you run into another politician or another security guard or police officer. It was
Uh-huh.
a busy day because I went there on like an internship type thing, but it wasn't a political internship. It was a different one. And, but Congress was in session and it was a very, very busy day. It was a Monday through Friday type thing. It was a 1 week internship just to get an experience. And it was something. I liked it though. I like busyness. I, I kind of like a lot of the theater parts, kind of the fact that you may get attacked by your own allies. That actually is kind of intriguing to me. But it's probably because probably because I grew up on professional wrestling, watching a lot of that. So
So you haven't raised a lot of money.
nope, not a dime.
Okay, so if would you accept corporate PAC money?
It would depend on the pack, um, because like I've told someone else, it says they won't accept any corporate PAC money. You can accept money from a corporation. It doesn't mean you have to do anything for them. They're giving you a donation. That's a gift. If they try to say that you like owe them a favor or something, that's against the law. So you can accept money from a large oil company and build a bunch of solar panels if you want to. It's your money for your campaign, or for your office. So you don't owe anyone a favor if they give you a donation. Now there are some PACs like probably IPAC. I probably wouldn't accept from them at this point because I'm pretty staunchly against what's been going on in Gaza recently.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few PACs. There are a couple PACs I'd like to actually court. I don't know if you're familiar with the Leaders We Deserve PAC. They're ran by David Hogg. They're an interesting one. I've actually tried to get in conversation with them, but I like a lot of what they stand for. They were kind of formed by some of the survivors of a school shooting.
Mm-hmm. Now there's a lot of hate and division in this country. Could you comment on that?
Yeah, I've seen it myself because like I'm a naturally like liberal-minded person. I always consider myself like a left-leaning moderate type, and I come from a lot of family members who are pretty staunchly conservative, and it's gone from just having different political views where they think that some of them think that I'm the enemy,
Uh,
and I see that a lot. Where if like if you're a Democrat in a Republican around a Republican group, you're the enemy, and vice versa. If you're a Republican around a Democrat group, you're the enemy. Instead of just seeing the fact that we're all just Americans with slightly different views. I think for the most part, from my experience living in rural Kentucky, that most people are after the same things. They want good jobs. They want to, if they want to have families, they want to be able to raise them and not go broke just trying to live. They want to be able to provide, have a home, food, basic things that every human being wants. And just their political views is just another part of them. It's just another part of who they are as people, but it doesn't define them totally. So the polarization is gotten too intense, and that's mainly at the top. The handful of Republicans and the handful of Democrats are in charge of the parties that they kind of sow more and more division because they just won't compromise on anything. They won't work together on anything, and I hope to avoid being a part of that. That's part of the reason why I'd run as a third party. I probably would not run as a major party candidate, other than the fact that it would be a whole lot easier to get on the ballot. Because if you run as a Republican or Democrat in Kentucky, you need 2 signatures. If you run as a third party, you need 5,000. So it's a big difference.
you need 2 signatures if you ran as a Republican.
Republican or Democrat, yeah, they need 2 signatures for ballot access. A third party in Kentucky needs 5,000.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah, 5,000 signatures is going to be a big task.
Do you have a army of supporters that are going to go out and get signatures for you?
I don't have an army, but I have a small team. Hopefully, that small team grows into more like a platoon.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll get to army size, unfortunately, but we'll try.
Okay.
That's a big thing. Getting the 5,000 signatures just to get on the ballot first. That's the big hurdle. That's probably the most difficult hurdle, honestly, because after that, it's just campaigning. It's just talking to people, doing debates if they'll debate me, conducting interviews, getting the message out. Um, money's always going to be a big player, but the first thing is getting all those signatures, and 5,000 signatures is a lot.
So what have you learned from Jeffrey Young?
I do what?
What have you learned from Jeff Young?
Probably just tenacity and resilience, and if someone hits you with something, you can argue from a fact standpoint, but don't make it personal. And I haven't known him personally for too long, just a little while since my time in the Kentucky Party. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's an impression that I get from him is that you run and you let the negative things kind of just fall by the wayside, unless they're legal. Because I mean, if you know anything about Jeff Young, he does file lawsuits. he is
Right.
he is currently doing stuff right now, which I mean, that's what the legal framework's there for. Um, but yeah, it's tenacity. Just keep going. You know, don't let anything get you down. So I've already decided that, barring a major health issue, nothing will get me to not run in this election. I don't have to primary. I'm just by myself. So
Right. So if somebody wants to volunteer for your campaign or give you a contribution, how could they do so?
so we're getting to, I got a Facebook page set up. It's a Campbell for Congress 2026. That's the
Uh-huh.
most simple way. I have a GoFundMe that the link will be there. Email address, it's just Campbell for Congress 2026 at gmail.com. Just pretty basic stuff right now, just like on the surface, working on getting more and more. But yeah, I'll be posting press releases, videos, things like that as they happen onto the Facebook page. I'm going to expand. I'm going to have an X and an Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should do a TikTok. We'll see. Right now, it's just me doing that stuff. So it's just as much as I can get out while still living a life. Jeff Sebesta is the guy that's doing a lot of work with me with the Kentucky Party. He's a huge help. He, Young, and a few other people are helping me work on my press release to get it, really good. And we'll send it out to every paper and news agency that might run it.
So Jeff's the best, is it?
Yeah, he's because he's part of the Kentucky Party Executive Committee, and so
Okay.
he's working.
Has he run for office?
As far as I know, if he hasn't declared for anything, I know he's ran before. He hasn't decided whether or not he'll be running for anything this year because he's like working on several campaigns as the
Okay.
he's kind of the guy that's doing everything for the Kentucky Party as far as like making, door hangers, flyers, things like that. He does a lot of that stuff for advertising for the Kentucky Party. He does fundraising. He does canvassing to help candidates in our party and other third party candidates. So he's got a lot on his plate right now. But I'm sure if he finally gets an itch to run, he may just throw that in too.
How far are you from Louisville?
From Louisville, I think I'm like 90 miles, about 90
Did
miles.
you go to the Kentucky Derby?
I did not.
Okay.
It's a little too pricey for me to go there.
Is it expensive?
It can be. Sometimes where I'm an EKU alum, and I'm also like in the Kentucky Colonels. Sometimes they give us like discounts, or they have special deals. But still, pretty much any penny I come up with that's extra, that's not going to bills and stuff, will probably go straight into the campaign.
Mm-hmm. So final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Oh, we got a long road ahead of us. Like I said, the biggest hurdle is getting those signatures, getting on the ballot, and then I really hope that at some point I do get to debate people like Andy Barr or Colonel McGrath. I think I could do fairly well against them. I hope that I have a message that resonates with the Kentucky people. There's a lot of issues in our state. There's a lot of issues that need to be resolved within our state, and then there's a lot of issues that need to be resolved for our country. I think that's why I want to do U.S. Senate so that I can focus on the country and the state, represent Kentucky and the U.S. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. I've always heard politics is a dirty game, and I look forward to playing that dirty game.
Have you witnessed any dirty politics as of yet?
Not yet. I'm not relevant enough. They're the Republicans are focused on each other. Like I know I've already seen like anti Nate Morris ads. Barr and Morris both have ads up. The Democrats are going to focus on each other. They have to compete for a primary, so for the next, all the way up until May, they're stuck competing with each other, so they can't pay attention to me. They don't have time. And hopefully in that time, I can really mount something so that once it's decided who the Republican candidate will be and who the Democratic candidate will be, I'll be relevant enough for them to take me seriously.
Great. So you've been listening to Christopher Campbell. I'm Cynthia Pooler. This is Talking on the Candidates. And if you like the show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm sorry. And mark your calendars on August 1st. I'm working on creating a holiday for a candidate called National Candidate Recognition Day. So July 4th, the 250th birthday of America, and they worked so hard to make sure we got to the 250th birthday. So please mark your calendars and please support the candidates that are running in your area. Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.